this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
On eBay, every find has a story. Like if you're looking for a vintage band tee, not just a tee, the band tee. You wore it everywhere until your ex-boyfriend stole it. Now you're on eBay, and there it is. Same tee from the same tour. The things you love have a way of finding their way back to you, especially on eBay. Where else can you find that mint trading card you search for everywhere that's out of print? Or your first car, the one you wish you'd never sold? It has to be eBay. Shop eBay for millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love. With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder that Capital One Bank Guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also tell you about how Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about. In a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Hey there, everyone. It's me, Josh. And for this week's SYSK Selects, I've chosen a 2013 episode, How the Rosetta Stone Works. It's kind of amazing, actually, that had it not been for this one government decree that happened to be written in a few different languages, we may never have figured out what the heck hieroglyphics mean, and they would have been lost forever, including the culture that formed the basis of a significant portion of Western civilization. So check it out, How the Rosetta Stone Works, coming at you right now.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know, a production of iHeartRadio's How Stuff Works.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. There's Charles W. Chuck Bryant, and this is Stuff You Should Know.
The overly hot studio edition.
I have a bit of a chill.
No, you don't.
I do. I'm not at all hot.
Yeah, you also said it hurt when our new coworker shook your hand, so... What does that say?
That he has a strong handshake.
Okay, and you're always cold?
Yeah.
It's all these lamps in here. Well, Jerry's decorated. It's nice.
It is nice. It's just like an IKEA catalog.
That's right.
Chuck.
Yes.
How many times have you been to Egypt?
Counting that trip in high school, 0.
Same here.
Yeah.
And yet, we know an awful lot about Egypt.
Yeah, it's popular.
Especially ancient Egypt.
Sure.
Like, I would wager that we probably know more about ancient Egypt than modern Egypt.
Yeah.
Most people in the West.
Yeah. Is there a modern Egypt?
There is, and it's undergoing quite a bit of turmoil right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that Egypt was still around.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the reason that you and I know a lot about Egypt is thanks to a soft science, one of the humanities you would call it, called Egyptology.
Yeah.
Pretty on-the-nose name for the study of ancient Egypt.
Yeah, it's a real popular thing, and has been for a while.
A while, but not too terribly long. I would say about the beginning of the 19th century.
Yeah.
And the reason that all of it was fostered and that all of it came about and that you and me, know about Egypt was because of the discovery of a tablet known as the Rosetta Stone.
That's right.
But you can also go back even further and make the case that if it wasn't for Napoleon Bonaparte, we may not understand Egypt to this day.
Yeah, that little guy. He wasn't that little, though. Is that right?
Right. He was average height.
Right. Why do people say that then? Where'd that come from?
Because some doctor wrote down, I think upon his death, that he was 5'2". But what a lot of people don't realize is that the doctor was using the French inch, which is longer than the British imperial inch.
Really?
So when you translate 5'2" from the French inch to the imperial
He
inch,
was 6'8".
he was about 5'6".
Okay,
which is average height. And the other reason why he was called like the Little Emperor by his armies was because compared to most of his bodyguards and his people he had around him, he was shorter than them.
Yeah, I guess when you're 5'6", you want some 6'4" dudes around you.
Right. So, but the idea that he was a very short man is not correct.
Yeah, I'd always heard that, but I didn't know the story. The French inch. Mm-hmm. There's your band name for the day.
There it is.
Although I typically don't like rhyming names.
French inch doesn't rhyme. It sounds similar. I wouldn't call it a rhyme.
French and inch?
Yeah, French inch.
Oh, the E and the I?
Yeah.
That's nitpicky.
Well, yeah. It's the vowels that rhyme, not the consonants.
Yeah, but if you were Steve Malkmus and you put French at the end of a line and an inch at the end of another, it would be rhymey.
But, and you'd sell a lot of records.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, there was our pavement reference
That's
for
right.
the episode. That's becoming a daily thing, too, isn't it? So you want to get on with this?
Yeah, let's do it. We're going to be talking Rosetta Stone, not the language software, which neither one of us has ever used.
No.
We're talking about the real thing, which is actually bigger than I thought. You know, many things are smaller for me, like when you see them in person.
Mona Lisa?
Of course, Mona Lisa's small. Like, I went to England. I was like, Big Ben, that ain't so big.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I had that impression of Big Ben, but okay.
I was kind of underwhelmed. It definitely didn't seem big. Whereas the Eiffel Tower, that was bigger than I thought.
That is where I developed a fear of heights that still plagues me to this day. Like,
Wait.
it literally happened to me on the Eiffel Tower. On the way up, never had a fear of heights in my entire life. On the way down, I was hanging on to the fence.
Really?
And it took me forever to get down because I was suddenly deathly afraid of heights. It just hit me just right. My brain
changed.
Yeah.
How old were you?
17-ish.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't go up to the top. I probably missed out.
I didn't either. It was the first level that got me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So, anyway, where was I going? Oh, it's bigger than I thought it was. It is black basalt, and it weighs about 3/4 of a ton, 46 inches high, 0.5, 30 inches wide, and 12 inches deep. And it's large. It's heavy. It's you didn't write this, did you?
No.
No. It's about the size of a heavy coffee table.
Were you about to make fun of something?
No. I was just going to say whoever wrote this referenced an LCD TV of medium size.
Yeah, a medium screen LCD television.
Oh, by the way, thank you to Teresa Dove, fan request.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's who requested this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's larger than I thought, and I learned a lot about this. I thought the Rosetta Stone, because I'm a dummy, was literally like, here's what our alphabet is, and here's what everything means. Mm-hmm. And now that you found it, you can decipher everything.
Yeah, I think I had the same impression as well until I read this. I thought it was like created as a key to hieroglyphics. Not at all.
Not so.
It was a government document, basically. It's a stele, or stella. Stele is the plural.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Egyptians that use stele. The Mayans have largely been figured out. Their language has from old stele.
Yeah.
Well, and that's it. Those are the two that use stele.
Yeah, in this case, it's an inscription carved in 3 different languages, Greek, hieroglyphics, and demotic, with a T, not demonic.
Yeah, demotic.
But since I'm from the South, I soften my T, so it might sound like I'm saying demonic.
Yeah.
And basically, it was in the 3 languages to ensure that everybody could read it because it was an official government decree. Not super exciting, though.
No, it wasn't. Basically, what the Rosetta Stone says, and like you said, it's in 3 languages, there's a decree that says essentially that Ptolemy V is a great ruler, and he is a righteous worshiper of all the right gods, so he's okay in our book.
Yeah.
And this decree was made by some priests who gathered at Memphis, and they inscribed the stone, or had it inscribed and dated March 27th, 196 BC.
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually say March 27th in hieroglyphics. It says 18 Mashir, which on the Egyptian calendar translates to something like March 27th. And then they got the 196 because somewhere in there it references the 9th year of Ptolemy V's reign. Right. Which is about 196. So that's where they got the date from, the what we would in the West equate it to.
Yeah. So like we said, it doesn't say anything of particular interest. At the time, it was an important message, but it's not the Rosetta Stone because of what is transcribed upon that stone.
No, it's the fact that it's in 3 different languages.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's, like you said, hieroglyphics, Demotic, and Greek. And hieroglyphics were a sacred alphabet.
Yeah.
They used that for really important stuff.
See, I didn't know this either. I thought just any old thing they wanted to write was a hieroglyph.
No, that's what they had demotic for, or demotic. That was kind of like an abbreviated, shorthand, more vulgar version of hieroglyphics.
Yeah, and in between that was hieratic, which was slightly more complicated than demotic, but less complicated and not sacred like hieroglyphics.
Yeah, it was like a kind of a transition between demotic and hieroglyphics.
Yeah, it was cursive.
Right. So you can you could use hieratic for like a business transaction.
Sure.
But if you were saying the king is a very righteous ruler and you mentioned the gods, you're going to use hieroglyphics.
That's right.
So to have it written in Greek demotic, which was an offshoot of hieratic, which was an offshoot of hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
And hieroglyphics, these priests that gathered and issued this decree that was written on the Rosetta Stone, they made sure that everyone in Egypt who was literate could read this one way or another.
Yeah, and it was sort of not a stroke of luck. I mean, it was just smart thinking at the time, but ended up being a stroke of luck because the three languages, I mean, without that, I don't think we may have never been able to figure out hieroglyphics.
No, agreed. And
they've been lost forever.
Exactly. And that's not the only way that the Rosetta Stone was kind of a bit of fortune. But so the reason that it was lost was up until the 4th century A.D., any average Egyptian could have read the Rosetta Stone one way or another.
Yeah.
But after that, Egypt, it left the pharaonic stage.
Yeah.
Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of Egypt. And then it came to be ruled by the Greeks, later on the Romans, the Ptolemies, and a bunch of different foreigners or different groups. And with these groups came the introduction of new gods and the suppression of old gods. And since hieroglyphics were very much religious in nature, they're sacred or holy, but associated with those old gods, hieroglyphics itself came to be cut off, stopped, suppressed.
Yeah, especially Christianity. They tended to want to get rid of other competing gods and languages that are tied to those gods.
Right, but luckily we still had Demotic.
That's right, and Demotic wasn't taboo. That eventually became what's known as Coptic, and Coptic used some Greek and then a little bit of still of the hieroglyphic symbols.
So there's still like this
just a little bit
very tenuous link between Coptic and hieroglyphics. But then Coptic is lost. It's pushed out by Arabic.
Yeah, and then that was like way gone. Goodbye, hieroglyphics.
That's it. That was like the hieroglyphics is no longer understood by anyone walking planet Earth.
Yeah. And
that means that all of the ancient Egyptian civilization itself was lost.
Yeah, 1,000 years.
Aside from its structures, the thought put into it, the reasoning behind it, all of the explanations, all of the inscriptions, all the writing all over these ancient buildings are understood by no one now. And then as a result of that, the buildings themselves, the last vestiges of this ancient civilization, are deconstructed and used for the next wave by new rulers. And so ancient Egyptian culture is lost to the mists of time.
Yeah. Wow.
Thanks.
Very nice. Yeah, there was no love lost. They were basically like, we don't need this language anymore. We don't need these sacred buildings anymore.
They're pagan anyway.
Yeah, let's tear them all down, build up new ones. And oddly, the Rosetta Stone was actually used as a buttress in a wall of a new building.
Yes. So
it was part of the construction.
Right. That's how, this is another way that this is all just stroke of luck after stroke of luck. So the first stroke of luck, as you pointed out, is that they just happened to decree that this thing be written in 3 languages.
Yeah.
Okay. Same message in 3 languages. Then it's used for a building, a wall, right?
Yeah.
Then it happens to be discovered by some French who are marooned in Egypt because they got crushed by the British right when they tried to invade.
Yeah, I guess let's talk about that for a sec.
Okay.
The French thought, hey, we need to get a stronghold on India eventually. And Napoleon said, I think a good way to do that is to start a little further away in, let's say, Egypt. Let's cut off the Brits' access to the Nile River, and that'll really help our cause. Unfortunately, the Brits had a great navy, and pretty much destroyed all their ships and stranded them in Egypt for, 19 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for the French, whose ships were now at the bottom of Abu Qir Bay, they decided that they really kind of needed to set themselves to creating forts.
Yeah, like since we're here.
Right. And it wasn't just military that was there. Part of this invasion, this strategy that Napoleon had come up with to take over Egypt was kind of a hearts and minds strategy too. And so he created something called the Institute of Egypt, also known as the Scientific and Artistic Commission.
Yeah.
Mineralogists, mathematicians, art historians,
A lot of engineers.
chemists, all of these people from the letters and sciences brought together to understand and study Egypt.
Yeah, they were actually given military rank, but they weren't. I think that was just more of a here, just so we'll call you military.
Right.
Like they weren't from military backgrounds.
So
They were thinkers.
but they were among this invading force
Yeah.
that was left stranded in France. So as the real military guys were building the forts, the people from the Institute of Egypt start studying Egypt.
Yeah, I guess they were the first Egyptologists.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
it was close. They definitely were.
And it was very covert operation. Like they weren't really allowed to talk about what they were doing that much, except to just say, hey, we're following Napoleon's orders, acting on behalf of the good of the French Republic.
Right.
That's
So-
what we're doing. Don't ask any questions.
Yeah,
Don't ask why I have this measuring tape out.
exactly.
Or why I'm transcribing things from papyrus.
But they did become, I guess, embedded with the local population as well to help learn as much as they could. And so it's under this climate that a French soldier one day finds this very polished black stone that's inscribed, and something about it told him that it was pretty important. So he took it to these early Egyptologists, the French, and said, you guys think this is important? And they said yes.
Yeah, that was Lieutenant Pierre-Francois Bouchard. And he took it to his boss, and they said, okay, this is weird that this is built into a wall, but it's clearly something of note.
Yeah.
And maybe we should take a closer look at it. And immediately they started to get to work on trying to transcribe it. It was super difficult at the time, and would prove to be difficult over the years. It eventually ended up in the hands of England, of course.
But luckily, these the Institute of Egypt people made copies of it.
Yeah, I think that like etchings or the plaster molds and things.
I'm sure, yeah. But they had readable copies of the Rosetta Stone. So when they did give it up to the British, it wasn't entirely lost to them.
That's right. And give it up as in not here, have this. It was more like, here, we're taking this in the Treaty of Alexandria. We're going to take this and a bunch of other stuff.
So now, basically, you have the French and the British both have the Rosetta Stone. The one group that doesn't are the Egyptians. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Stuff you should know.
The springtime thaw is finally here. Flowers are blooming, days are longer. We're saying yes to more plans and finally getting outside, running, walking, just moving again. It's the perfect time to upgrade your everyday go-tos with Bombas. Take Bombas Sport Socks. They're super comfortable and designed with sport-specific tech for running, cycling, yoga, hiking, you name it. I use them to run in, and I can tell you they work beautifully. So head over to bombas.com and use code SYSK for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com, code SYSK at checkout.
Hey everybody, here's a fact for you. In the United States, there is a break-in every 26 seconds, and that means that somewhere right now, an intruder is getting closer. And the problem with most security systems is that they only alert you after the break-in has started, and that's too late.
Well, that's what makes SimpliSafe different. They use alerts. SimpliSafe's US-based live agents, they identify threats on your property and help deter them before they actually break in. So the intruder never gets into your house. The crime is stopped before it even starts.
That's right. And another great thing about SimpliSafe is they have no long-term contracts. They give you peace of mind and great value with their monitoring deterrence plans because they just start at about $1 a day.
Yeah, Simply Safe sent us a setup years back, and I still use mine every day.
Yeah, and apparently setup, you can do it by yourself in under 30 minutes, so it's a really good value and it doesn't take long.
So if you want to experience the Simply Safe peace of mind, you can take advantage of the Simply Safe discount offered to Stuff You Should Know listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/stuff. That's half off at simplysafe.com/stuff. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Both of them recognize that this is a very, very important something. They know that it's some sort of decree.
Yeah.
They recognize that it's in 3 different languages. And I think it becomes obvious to them that this could be the key to understanding hieroglyphs, which people have tried to understand. This is not new.
No.
People going back to a fellow named Horapollo, who was a 5th century scholar. Supposedly, he may not have actually existed. He created basically what was a translation for hieroglyphics.
That's right.
But it was a false translation, as we'll see. But, dating back basically from the moment that hieroglyphics were lost to history, people have tried to understand them. So this was, the British and the French were aware of this, like, this may be the key to these mysterious hieroglyphics. And this is important. So we're going to try to translate it.
Yeah, well, it became a race, really, because they didn't like each other very much, and they both wanted to be the first ones to figure out what these hieroglyphics meant and how to unlock this history. Mm-hmm. And so they sent their best and their brightest. On the English side, the British side, it was a scholar named Thomas Young. And then on the French side, we had Jean-François Champollion, who... he was sort of born to do this, apparently. He was way into Egypt as a kid even, and as a young child said, I'm gonna figure out hieroglyphics one day.
Yeah.
He was even called the Egyptian because he had dark skin and dark hair. Mm-hmm. And I think a magician foretold his fame one day.
Yeah, when he was born, supposedly, a magician said, this guy's going to be famous.
And he was. And
he was a very talented linguist. He studied under a guy named Sylvester de Sacy.
Yeah, Antoine Isaac Sylvester de Sacy.
Who would take a crack at the Rosetta Stone, but he trained Champollion. Is that how we're saying it?
Yeah, sure.
He trained him, but Champollion quickly went from student to master. He applied to be a student at an institute in Paris, and they were impressed enough with his application that they said, how about you just skip the school part and come be on the faculty?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a talented linguist.
Yeah, they said the same thing when I applied to Georgia.
Is that right?
They're like, you just want to go and be an English teacher?
Yeah.
I went, nah.
Oh, really? You turned it down, huh?
Sure, I wanted to be a student.
Oh, gotcha.
So before all this happens, we have the Greek inscription transcribed, which it was Reverend Stephen Watson in 1802, and I don't want to say it was no big deal, but there were quite a few people that could have done this. It wasn't like unlocking hieroglyphics.
No.
But it was a necessary part of the process.
Right.
So we want to give him his due.
So we have a translation, an accurate translation of what the
Greek
Rosetta
was.
Stone says.
Exactly. So that's step one. And if you have one translated, then if you're a linguist, I guess, it sounds really difficult to do. I can't imagine the painstaking process of figuring out an alphabet.
Yeah, think about how hard it is to translate a well-known language into a language that you speak. Imagine translating a language that's totally lost into something understandable.
Yeah. So we had the Greek, and then eventually we had the Demotic as well.
Thanks to Antoine.
Yeah.
Antoine. And that same year, at the same time, a Swedish diplomat named Åkerblad also translated the Demotic. And they both went about it 2 different ways.
I thought this was pretty interesting.
Yeah, so de Sacy figured out that there were 2 proper names, at least, in there, Ptolemy and Alexander, and he used those to match up sounds and symbols. Åkerblad probably had the bigger breakthrough.
Yeah.
He used a different technique. He recognized that there was something similar between Demotic and Coptic.
Yeah, and he was well schooled in Coptic,
Right.
which helped, obviously.
Yeah, that was his big breakthrough. He figured out what words spelled love, temple, and Greek, and he used that to form basically this rough structure for Demotic based on his awareness of Coptic.
Yeah, that's only 11 letters. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you've got 11 letters, that's a decent, I think they called it a skeletal outline.
Right.
I guess that's what you'd have.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially since Coptic was only, 22 plus a couple more from hieroglyphics.
Yeah, it's like a big Wheel of Fortune game.
Yes.
After that.
Right. So the thing is, though, this established connection now between Coptic and Demotic, and then Demotic and hieroglyphics, since they're side by side, that kind of opened up this mentality that would be needed to finally crack the hieroglyphics for the Rosetta Stone. And Thomas Young was the first to really try it. He was the British guy, and he got somewhat far, but he gave up.
Yeah, he in 1814, his big breakthrough was figuring out what a cartouche was.
Yeah.
And that is, they say oval, but it's a little more squared away with round edges. But it's a loop, basically, with hieroglyphic characters in it. And he figured out that these are not only proper names, but royal names.
Yeah.
Anything contained in a cartouche is a royal name, which was a big breakthrough because he identified Ptolemy, the pharaoh's name, in one of the cartouches.
Yeah.
Cartouche?
Cartouches.
Cartouches. And his queen, Berenica, was in there as well. So he said, you know what? Again, I've got these two names now to work with. But he was still working on Heropolos' false premise that hieroglyphics was not phonetic in nature and that it was based just on symbols.
Right. That's what Heropolos' big contribution was, to confuse
Yeah.
a century's worth of scholars.
I felt bad for Young because he was onto something, and if he wasn't using the fake or not fake, but just the poor system, then he might have figured it out.
Right. So this is the thing. Like, everyone believed Heropolo because Heropolo claimed that his translation was a direct translation from hieroglyphic. It was written in the 5th century AD, right around the time we lost hieroglyphics. So it was considered to be a primary source and basically completely reasonable.
Yeah, but it was wrong.
It was wrong because it said that hieroglyphics are symbolic. So, like, if you see a cart, a picture that looks like a cart next to a cat, and then a lizard, what that should say under Heropolos' translation is cart, cat, lizard. This kept throwing everybody off because it didn't make sense, especially when compared to the Greek translation and the translation of Demotic. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. So, like you said, Young gave up, but he published his findings, and you can really strongly make a case that had it not been for Young's breakthrough, Champollion would not have cracked the Rosetta Stone.
No, which we should mention here that, like, they should just accept each other as coworkers and colleagues and get along. But there was a competition that exists to this day of what country claims that they translated the Rosetta Stone. The French still say that Champollion was really the one.
Yeah.
The Brits obviously say no, it was really Young. And even when they displayed it in 1972, one of the few times it's left England, or maybe the only time, they let France display it for like a year. They argued about the size of the photos of the two on both sides of it, when in fact the photos were the same size.
Of Young and Champollion.
Yeah, not photos, but
portraits.
Portraits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the French were like, well, no, Young's is bigger. The Brits were like, no, his is bigger.
Right.
And they were the same size. So they were really they never came to a common ground on who did it, when in fact they both did.
And there were rumors apparently during that time that France was going to just steal the Rosetta Stone and keep it and not return it back to England.
And this was in the 1970s, so this is not like a long time ago.
Right.
So Champollion picked up in 1814 where Young left off and started to think, you know what? I need to think more about this symbol thing that Heropolo, like, I don't know if he was on base after all. And that was actually the breakthrough. He got some old cartouches, and he figured out that the last two letters in one of them were identical. So That's a good thing because you know that it's the same letter. He figured out that it was the letter S, and then the first character was a circle, and he said maybe that's the sun.
Right.
And in ancient Egypt, the sun god was Ra.
In Coptic.
Yeah, and so basically he figured out that name was Ramses.
Yeah.
And that was a huge breakthrough.
He figured out the identical letters, the last two were S's. The first one was Ra. And since he knew that it was in a cartouche, that it was a royal name, from that era, the only person it could have been was Ramses. So that's how he cracked the code, like you say.
Yeah, and cracked it in like, hey, this is a phonetic thing. He was wrong the whole time, and apparently he fainted on the spot.
Yeah.
Which is dramatic.
Yeah, kind of cute.
He was French, sure.
So out of that moment, Egyptology was fully born. Like now we had a way to understand all this stuff that hadn't been destroyed and reused as building material. Which
took a long time, though. It wasn't like they could just read it. It still took a lot of translating.
Oh, yeah.
But they had the basis.
Exactly. All they'd done is transcribe one single stela. They had millennia worth of things to, like papyruses or papyri, and building inscriptions and sarcophagi and all that
love
stuff.
letters.
Yeah, whatever you have, sure. And so Egyptology is born, and now that it's understood at that moment, there's also a great desire to protect Egypt and all of its treasures.
Yeah, and to get things right, because previous to that, Napoleon and gang did a pretty good job, but they also speculated a lot.
Yeah, because they couldn't read hieroglyphics.
Yeah, so they ended up correcting a lot of things about what they thought about Egypt. And like you said, they wanted to protect things because Egypt at the time was, they were selling these things off to collectors left and right because A, they didn't know their true value, and B, there was a market for it.
Sure, doctors during the Middle Ages who were just big dummies would use mummies from Egypt. They'd grind it up and use it to cure disease, which didn't work. And so there was this move to protect Egyptian antiquities from Egyptians. There was kind of this patriarchal mentality, especially among the British, that we need to get everything out of Egypt and into museums and into like the hands of us who will preserve them and not sell them to middle ages doctors for cure-alls. But to his credit, in my opinion, Champollion argued very strongly in favor of keeping them founding a museum in Egypt to store these and keeping them in Egypt.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit of a control freak. Like he knew that he could care for things in the proper way, and I don't think he trusted even other museums at the time to care for things in the right way. And he was kind of right because a lot of it was destroyed.
Yeah, like apparently to preserve an ancient papyrus, you have to store it in a low humidity area.
Yeah.
In a
chamber.
in a bamboo box container.
Yeah.
And they didn't know this, and they shipped them by sea to the UK, and they all like crumbled to nothingness on the way.
Dummies.
Yeah.
So the Rosetta Stone still sits in the museum in London, where it's been since 1802, except for the time it went to France briefly. And in 2003, Egypt was like, you know what? I want this thing back. Not I. We want this thing back. And it's ours, and I don't care who found it. It's ours. And England said in 2005, took them 2 years to build a replica and say, hey, how about this? This is just like it.
I guess at least they didn't try to pass it off as the real one.
Well, yeah, that's true. Sent them a replica, and they were like, I appreciate this. This is nice, but we really would like the real thing. And England said no. And not just England, but a lot of the big museums, the Louvre and a bunch of the world museums kind of all got together in support of one another and said, you know what? Repatriation we're not into it.
Huh.
We're just not going to give things back anymore because we can care for it best. It belongs to the world now. And they just sort of banded together and said, we're keeping our stuff.
Crazy.
And that's, I think, where it's probably going to stay. They are trying to get it for I think in 2012 they tried to get it for the grand opening of the Grand Egypt Museum.
It sounds like it didn't happen.
But even then they said no.
No.
They'd want it for like 3 weeks, and they said nope. Under the guise of, well, I don't know if it's guise, but they said it'd be too dangerous to transport it. That's the story they have, at least.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. So that's how museums work.
No.
Pillage and deny. Pillage and deny. You got anything else?
No, sir.
That is the Rosetta Stone, everybody. If you want to learn more about it, you should type those words, Rosetta, stone, in the search bar at How Stuff Works, and it will bring up this article. And since I said search bar, it means it's time for a message break.
Stuff you should know.
Hey, everybody. Here's a fact for you. In the United States, there is a break-in every 26 seconds, and that means that somewhere right now, an intruder is getting closer. And the problem with most security systems is that they only alert you after the break-in has started, and that's too late.
Well, that's what makes SimpliSafe different. They use alerts. SimpliSafe's US-based live agents, they identify threats on your property and help deter them before they actually break in. So the intruder never gets into your house. The crime is stopped before it even starts.
That's right. And another great thing about SimpliSafe is they have no long-term contracts. They give you peace of mind and great value with their monitoring deterrence plans because they just start at about $1 a day.
Yeah, SimpliSafe sent us a setup years back, and I still use mine every day.
Yeah, and apparently setup, you can do it by yourself in under 30 minutes, so it's a really good value and it doesn't take long.
So if you want to experience the SimpliSafe peace of mind, you can take advantage of the SimpliSafe discount offered to Stuff You Should Know listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/stuff. That's half off at simplisafe.com/stuff. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Work can be a little weird. One minute you're in a meeting that could have been an email. The next you're trying to decode corporate jargon that somehow means nothing. And don't even get us started on the quick sync that turns into a 45-minute deep dive.
Yeah, well, the truth is figuring out your career isn't always straightforward. Whether you're trying to grow, pivot, or just stay relevant, it can feel like you're navigating it all on your own. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in.
That's right. LinkedIn can help you grow your career, helping you confidently navigate your path with insights, ideas, and inspiration from your professional community. You can stay up to date with the latest trends in your field, connect with people who get it, and discover opportunities tailored to your goals, your experience, and what actually matters to you.
Whether you're looking for something new or just trying to grow where you are, LinkedIn gives you the tools and connections to move forward with confidence. Because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more.
Now, Chuck, it's time for listener mail.
Oh, no. How about, instead, administrative details?
Okay.
All right, for those of you who don't know, this is at the point where we read off the people who were nice enough to send us little gifts and trinkets and music and letters and all sorts of things. Mm-hmm. And here we go.
Go ahead.
All right, Sarah sent us some cool graphic prints, one of which was You Can't Take the Sky From Me.
Ooh.
From one of my favorite shows, Firefly.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool prints.
Amy sent us a lovely carved wooden cicada from Timber Green Woods.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very cool. Ann McDonough sent us a Snoopy postcard and a handwritten letter of thanks.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Liz from New Zealand sent us a lot of stuff. That's New Zealand candy, New Zealand chocolates, New Zealand chips, surfboard postcard, really lovely framed photos from her dad, Rudy Goldstein Photography. It's on Facebook. It's R Goldstein Photography, so check it out.
Yeah, it's very cool. I have those on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Antoniak sent us some custom vinyls, some stickers from 811graphics.com. He and his brother have this company. It's cool stuff, like skater-style stuff.
Right. Buycostumes.com. That's BUY costumes.com. Sent us a full-size adult gremlin costume, which Ben Bolin wore all day yesterday in the office.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, Ben Bolin from Stuff They Don't Want You to Know in Car Stuff. He's weird.
Did you see that?
What?
He emailed me that he did that. Did you actually see that?
I haven't seen a picture of him yet.
I put on the hand one day and tried to creep out Strickland, but he was like, that's not the first gremlin hand I've had on my shoulder. Cat teepee. Megan sent a cat teepee my way because I have 2 cats. And my big boy Laurent gets in it now. We call it his spirit tent.
Nice.
And he just hangs out in there, and it's pretty neat. I mean, it's what you think. It's just like a little small teepee for your kitty.
That is very cute.
So if you have a cat, I would suggest you buying one.
Let's see. Susan sent you a birthday card. It's a dog drinking beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Kellum Clark sent us some T-shirts. And he is a handyman in Brooklyn, and he gifted us 2 hours of handyman work.
Oh, nice.
To give to someone we know.
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
That is really, really cool.
So I've actually texted our buddy Joe Randazzo. Said, hey, you need any work done? We have 2 free hours of handyman work. So if you're in Brooklyn, you can go to notjusthandyman.com and give Kellum a call. He'll fix your sink or do whatever you need around the house, I guess.
What's he going to do for Joe?
I don't know. Joe didn't respond. We'll go to Hodgman next, I guess, and just work our way down the list. Although Hodgman, he can afford to pay people. We should give it to someone else.
Okay.
All right.
I'll figure it out. Clive Fennessy gave us some really cool Panama Canal postcards.
Yeah, those are neat.
Yeah.
Rachel from Uber. Have you heard of Uber? It's sort of like a taxi cab service now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's town cars. And they have an app, and you can say, just come get me now.
Right, yeah. Yumi was telling me about that.
Yeah, they sent us Uber gift cards, and I will send you your gift code for us.
Awesome.
Like $100 in free town car service.
Thanks a lot.
I know somebody's going to be going to the airport for free.
Yeah. Kristen Curran has been taking us along with her on a tour of Europe, it seems like. We've got postcards from her from Edinburgh, Bruges, Amsterdam, Slovakia, Berlin, all over the place.
Yeah.
So thanks for those. We also got something from Threadless, self-designed t-shirt, Bigfoot cradling an alien, Loch Ness monsters in the background.
Yeah,
Very
there was
nice.
also like a Men in Black and an abduction going on, all sorts of stuff.
Very cool. And then Kira Newrin sent the wives some jewelry, and you can visit her store. Thank you very much, Kira, at caribouclassics.etsy.com. So that's our administrative details for now, right?
Yeah, part 1. We'll have a part 2, I guess, on the next episode.
Yes, we will.
Where we'll cover music and books.
Nice. If you want to get in touch with us, you can tweet to us at SYSK Podcast. You can join us on Facebook.com/Stuff You Should Know. And you can join us at our home on the web, StuffYouShouldKnow.com.
Stuff You Should Know is a production of iHeartRadio's How Stuff Works. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
You know, you could be adored by everyone and still completely ignored by your cat. Trust me, I know. But if you feed your cat Sheba, you can go from being ignored to truly adored in 12 days guaranteed or your money back. Sheba has a full menu of products, appetizers, entrees, treats, even a kitten's menu. It's so cute, so Sheba has a product for even the pickiest eater. Like Sheba Puree, it's made with bone broth, they are chef-inspired flavors, it's got a smooth and creamy texture that cats love, and contains no corn, wheat, soy, or artificial flavors. It's food that your cat's gonna love. To learn more, check out Sheba.com. That's SHEBA.com.
Introducing the all-new Mazda CX-5, featuring more connection.
Hey Google, where's the nearest Pilates class?
Safety that has your back. More discovery on the scenic routes. More passion in the details. And more control in changing weather. The all-new Mazda CX-5. More to move every side of you. See it in 5 films at MazdaUSA.com/5sides.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC. Sequences shortened and simulated.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.